What's up? Welcome back to the Metalhead Car Show. It's that time of year. We're all out making setlist speculations for Iron Maiden's Run for Your Lives 2025 tour. And whilst we're all making speculations, and it's super cool to go through everyone's ideas for what may or may not be happening, I wanted to go over 6 songs that I believe Iron Maiden will not be playing on the Run for Your Lives tour.
But why?
Completely against the grain, but we did this for the Future Past tour, and I had a lot of fun making it, so we're doing this again for the Run for Your Lives tour. So, enough dawdling, we're gonna get right into it. Starting off with Tail Gunner. So Tail Gunner is the intro track to No Prayer for the Dying. It hasn't actually been played since 1993, and frankly, I think it's going to be staying in 1993. The best place it could be used in the setlist is a opening track. It is a generally very good opening track, but with this tour focusing on the first 9 albums of Iron Maiden, we know it's not going to be Caught Somewhere in Time. We know the intro track won't be Moonchild. We have a pretty good idea it's probably not going to be Aces High, but we'll see. And also, Maiden knows that No Prayer for the Dying is definitely the least favorite album of those 9 albums. So to give Tail Gunner one of the most important parts of the set list, the opening song, it just isn't going to happen. And you could say, well, they could play in the middle of the set. They did that on the Fear of the Dark tour and the Real Live One tour, and it doesn't need to be an opening song. You are correct. But the reality is, Maiden's probably be playing Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter on this tour, and I do not, for a single second, see them giving No Prayer for the Dying 2 songs in the set. I love No Prayer for the Dying. I've always wanted to see a 90s tour happen, but the reality is, they're just not going to give No Prayer for the Dying that much time in the set. So I believe Tail Gunner is not going to be played. Second up, Power Slave. Now, Power Slave is the title track to Power Slave, and I'm not going to take anything away from it. It's one of the coolest songs Maiden's ever done, period. But the reality for this tour is they're going to be bringing back a lot of the hits. We have a pretty good idea that Aces High is probably going to be in the set list based on some artwork. We have a good idea that 2 Minutes Midnight is going to be brought back for this tour, and I'm really putting my money on Rhyme with the Ancient Mariner. So the reason I'm saying no Power Slave is Power Slave was pulled out on the Book of Souls tour. It got 2 years of touring on that, and Ancient Mariner hasn't been pulled out since 2009. Of the 2 songs, it has got a way larger break, and I think more fans are probably more excited for that to come back than Power Slave. And for a tour that has 9 albums to go through, we're not going to be able to get 4 Power Slave songs in there. We know the hits are going to be played, and we know Maiden has said they'll be playing songs that they haven't played for a while, and they likely won't play again. So that's not to say Power Slave's gone forever, but that's to say it's not coming back for this tour. Next up, Still Life. Now, I've seen a surprising amount of people say they want to see Still Life back in the set. I'm not going against them, it's a very cool song. But the reality with Still Life is it didn't make it through any tour it's ever been on. It's been played on 2 tours at its time. That was the Peace of Mind tour in 1983 and the Seventh Son and Seventh Son tour in 1988. And on both tours, it never made it all the way through. It was dropped for something else. Now, the reality is, Maiden has had a lot of chances to pull out Still Life since 1988. But if it's not going down well live, and the band's not having a good time playing it, it's not coming back. It'd be cool to hear, but I just don't see it happening. Next up, From Here to Eternity. From Here to Eternity is very much a love-hate song. Either you're really into it and you see exactly how fun it is, or you believe it's one of the worst singles Maiden's ever done. There's very few people who seem to be on the fence about it. And I said earlier that Maiden's not going to be dedicating that much time to No Prayer for the Dying. I see them only bring out 1 song. Frankly, I feel kind of the same way about Fear of the Dark. Now, I do feel like we're going to get 2 Fear of the Dark songs, but we know one of them's going to be Fear of the Dark. And personally, I believe the other one's going to be Quick or Be Dead. But again, we know Fear of the Dark's going to be played. And I feel like the options after that's either Be Quick or Be Dead or Afraid to Shoot Strangers. We know the next 2 options are, yes, From Here to Eternity or Wasting Love, but frankly, I just don't see From Here to Eternity coming back, and I just don't think there's that much demand for Wasting Love, period. I believe it's going to be Quick or Be Dead as the second song, but we know Maiden does like Afraid to Shoot Strangers, so I think if you're going to bank on anything else, it's probably going to be that. But I do generally believe From Fear to Eternity is not coming back. Next up, Remember Tomorrow.
Unchain the colors before my eyes.
First, I would love to hear Remember Tomorrow live, like a lot. But this goes back into the issue of there's a lot of albums to get through and just not that much time, all things said and done. I don't believe Maiden's going to be extending the quantity of time they're on stage for this tour, so they'll only be able to play so much. Now we know Iron Maiden's going to get played. That's a given. We know Phantom of the Opera is going to get played because whenever Maiden has ever used a song in the commercial for a tour or advertisement for a tour, it has always been in the set list. So we can absolutely 100% guarantee Phantom of the Opera is going to be played. And after that, I've heard a lot of people say Running Free. I've heard a lot of people say Sanctuary. And I don't think either of those are bad ideas. I think those are both very likely. And at that point, you've now dedicated 3 songs from Iron Maiden on a set list that has to go over 9 albums. Personally, I think 3 songs from that set list is a little bit ambitious, although people have also said they really want to see Prowler in the set list. So there's nothing wrong with the song. It's an amazing song. I assume Maiden probably wants to play it, but there just isn't time to play it. This is probably like the main song on this video where I would love to be wrong. I would love for them to pull it out. But I just don't see it happening for the Run for Your Lives tour. And the last one we're going to mention is Alexander the Great. Now, saying this song a few years ago probably would have been laughable because Iron Maiden never played it. But as a lot of you may know, they're actually playing it on the Future Past tour for the first time ever. And for this one, I kind of have 3 reasons towards why I believe it's not going to be in the Run for Your Lives tour. The first one being, as Maiden's currently on the Future Past tour, Somewhere in Time is a massive priority on this tour. As Maiden has now spent 2 years focusing on both Senjutsu and Somewhere in Time, playing 5 Somewhere in Time songs in the set list, I don't see Somewhere in Time being a priority on this tour, which means it's going to be down to either Heaven Can Wait or Wasted Years. Meaning, in my opinion, the oddball songs like Alexander the Great won't be in it. The second reason actually came from Nico. Nico stated that fans wanted to hear Alexander the Great forever, and then when they finally play it, nobody screams, nobody hoots or hollers the fact that Alexander the Great's finally being played. So the fact that they've finally brought the song out that everyone wanted, no one's going off for it, is probably, I'm not going to say soured the band at all, but it has kind of led to this, like, okay, I don't know if they actually wanted it that bad. So it's probably not a huge priority to pull it out once again. And the third one is timing. Now, I believe they're going to play some really cool songs. I believe these really cool songs are going to be the highlights of the tour. And because of those being in the set list, I don't think Alexander the Great has the time to be in the set list. And the last one is Greece. If Iron Maiden had a Greek show on the tour, I would probably say they might make an exception for Greece, bring it out into the set list, and make sure Greece gets to hear Alexander the Great. Because whilst they've done the entire Future Past tour, they've never played Greece on it. On the one tour that they pulled out Alexander the Great. And there's been no country that has wanted to hear that song more than Greece. So, seeing as though Greece isn't in the schedule, they're currently focusing on a lot of Summer in Time, so I don't think Summer in Time is going to be a huge focus on the Future Past tour, and just timing on the set list, I do not think it's going to be played on the Run for Your Lives tour. So that is 6 songs I believe Iron Maiden will not play on the Run for Your Lives tour. But as always, I want to know, what do you think? Do you agree with my list? And if not, let me know. But is there any songs you truly believe Iron Maiden will not play on the Run for Your Lives tour? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, subscribe, if you enjoyed what you've seen. I tend to post a couple times a week, and I'll see you later.